So Moog just announced a new synthesizer called the Messenger. And like clockwork, the synthfluencers are out in force. We've got all the usual suspects making all their usual awesome videos and inducing more gear lust in all of us. But this is going to be a different type of synth video because I am not here to pour more gasoline onto the fire of your gear lust. I'm here to resist. Let's talk about this new analog monosynth by Moog. It's going to have that familiar subtractive synth architecture, right? We're not going to get any kind of crazy FM synthesizer with lots of options or an isomorphic keyboard with 1,000 MPE enabled buttons on it. But there are some key new features that stand out in my head. A souped up sequencer that has some really interesting possibilities for randomness and variation. Also, they finally added bass compensation to the ladder filter when you turn up the resonance. So that's something that traditionally Moog products have not done in the past. Other companies have implemented those. In fact, most companies I've seen that use a ladder filter typically have a bass compensation. The last thing is they've added wavefolding to the oscillators. I haven't really heard that much of the synth. You know, I checked out Andrew Hong's video, the Lisa Belladonna presets video on Moog. For my taste, nothing I've heard is really compelling me to add this to my buy list. Basically, they're just catching up to Arteria. What are we talking about here? Moog Brute? Mother Brute? Grand Brute? Now I get that Moog as a company has to keep coming up with new products, but I've already got synths that cover most areas of what I would use a Moog Messenger for. I've already got a Sequential Pro 3. That's my go-to analog monosynth. And if I'm really jonesing for that classic Moog sound, there's no other synth I'd rather have than the Moog Matriarch. With that said, I could see if you did have a hole in your setup, the Moog Messenger might make a pretty compelling argument. It's got a lot of cool features and it's $900, but it's not as expensive as some of the other Moog products they've put out in the past. Now, the reason why the price is lower might be because they've moved most of their production overseas. If I had a hole in my rig, I would definitely be looking at the Messenger, but I'm finding it easier to resist the Messenger than other products in the past. Like, for example, the Moog Muse. Maybe that's because I've been getting more practice at it. I've been focusing on mastering the gear that I already have, on making more music. At the end of the day, I'm not even sure how much of this video is really about the Moog Messenger and more about my new perspective. When Moog announced the Messenger, I have to admit, one of the first thoughts that I had was, hey, let's chill out $900. Let's make some videos. Let's chase some clicks. Let's get some views. Let's do the YouTube thing. Stop. Fuck that. I want to make myself less susceptible to marketing, less susceptible to gear lust, to discontent, to envy. I don't want to keep searching for quote unquote better gear when I'm already blessed with what I have. Are you in the same boat as me? If you are, let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any comments about the Moog Messenger, hit me up in the comments as well. I'm not going to get the Messenger, but I'm kind of starting to wonder if Moog is headed down the same path as Electron. We're going to dig into that in the next video. But in the meantime, remember that the music we create is more powerful than the gear we lust after. So keep jamming.